We've all dreamed about stumbling across some buried treasure, be it on a walk, a hike, or digging around in our yard. Many of these people really did just happen to stumble right onto precisely what we all dream about, and few went out looking for it from the get-go. These are tales of the lucky few, the ones who had a dream come true. These are the stories of some incredible real-life treasure finds. 10. Ringlemere Cup. Cliff Bradshaw, a metal detectorist, found a gold cup at Ringlemere Farm in the UK on November 4, 2001. When he found it, he did what he thought was sensible and reported it to the coroner's office. It somehow eventually got to the right people, and sure enough, it was certified as treasure in 2002. It was made by hammering out a single piece of gold and shaping it, and then adding a strip of gold for a handle, which was attached with rivets. It was obviously crushed, and that's believed to have been caused by a plow coming across it in the recent past. The British Museum then purchased the cup for £270,000, and according to the Treasure Act 1996, both Cliff and the Smiths, who owned Ringlemere Farm, split the dough. The cup toured Europe on an exhibition and has been gawked at by many, but now rests at the British Museum in the prehistoric galleries. 9. Harrogate Hoard. This treasure is also often called the Vale of York Hoard or the Vale of York Viking Hoard. It consists of 614 silver coins and 65 non-coin items and dates back to the 10th century. David and Andrew Whalen, father and son metal detectorists, discovered the hoard completely untouched on January 6, 2007. And at the time had only been metal detecting for around 5 years. They were searching an unplowed field in North Yorkshire when they came across pieces of a lead chest a foot beneath the ground. When they pulled those out, a silver bowl fell into the hole from the side of the dig, and it was found that scraps of silver and coins were present upon examination. They noted their location and refilled the hole, and reported the find to the Finds Liaison Officer of the Portable Antiquities Scheme, Amy Cooper. It turned out to be the biggest Viking hoard found in Britain since the Cuerdale hoard was discovered in 1840. The hoard was valued at £1,082,000, sold, and the proceeds went to the Whalens and the owner of the land. 8. Staffordshire Hoard. Terry Herbert, just an everyday old guy with a metal detector, was searching farmland in Hammerwich, Staffordshire on July 5, 2009, when his detector notified him about something in the ground. He dug up some gold artifacts, considered what he should do, and then searched some more. He crisscrossed the land for 5 days, turning up a total of 244 pieces of now unburied treasure. It was then that he decided to get in contact with Duncan Slark, a Finds Liaison Officer for the area. Then, Fred Johnson, the landowner, agreed to let his field get full-blown excavated. And before they knew it, a big 30 by 43-foot area was excavated, considering the artifacts had been scattered by plowing, and eventually 3,500 pieces were found. More treasure has been found there since that dig as well. The hoard was then sold to the Potteries Museum and Art Gallery and the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery for $3.285 million. Both the farmer whose land the Staffordshire hoard was on, Fred Johnson, and the guy who had discovered it, Terry Herbert, received half of the profits of the sale. 7. Belitung Shipwreck. This shipwreck is also commonly referred to as the Tang Shipwreck and the Batu Hitam Shipwreck, and is the wreck site of what was once an Arabian dhow. The ship was on its way to China from Africa to trade when it sank in 830 AD. Fishermen happened to stumble across the wreckage in the Galassa Strait in 1998, just 51 feet beneath the water's surface. An Indonesian company won the rights to excavate after local fishermen sold the site. It was later excavated and financed by a team from Seabed Explorations led by Tilman Walterfang. Two expeditions took place to excavate, one in 1998 and the other in 1999, and what was found was pretty incredible. 60,000 items were recovered, the majority of which were various wares, mainly bowls. There were also funeral urns, inkwells, ewers, spice jars, and gilt silver boxes, as well as resin, spices, and metal ingots. Two special items were also retrieved, a big silver flask and a large gold cup. It was the most significant find of Tang Dynasty artifacts ever found in one spot. 6. Saddle Ridge Hoard. In February 2013, in California Gold Country, a couple was walking their dog on a trail they'd taken many times before. Although this time something caught their eye. A rusty metal can was sticking up out of the ground, and it piqued their curiosity. They had also noticed some interesting things about the area just prior to the can crossing their radar. There had been a tree that grew around a can not far down from the trail where they saw the can in the ground. They had also noticed a strangely shaped rock up on a hill that they decided to nickname Saddle Ridge. Well, the can in the ground didn't come free easily. They had to pry it from the ground using a piece of wood. Then, as they were headed home, the can's lid partially opened, revealing a gold coin. They decided to go back with supplies and unearthed yet another can. They continued to make trips and used a metal detector and shovels, and eventually had 8 cans filled up with 1,427 coins. How much is it worth? $10 million. 5. Frome Hoard. Back on April 11, 2010, another metal detector enthusiast, David Crisp, was using his tool to search a field near Frome in England where he had previously found 62 late Roman coins. In 1867, 111 of the coins had been found on the same land, and at the time they were thought to be pieces from a scattered hoard. Well, while David was combing, he said that his detector got a funny signal. He then dug down a little over a foot and came upon a little radiate coin, an old Roman coin, and what appeared to be the top of a little pot. David quickly filled the hole back up after realizing that what he had on his hands was probably an intact coin hoard. A few days later, on April 15th, he contacted the Portable Antiquities Scheme Finds Liaison Officer for Wiltshire, Katie Hinds, and told her of the find. In the end, excavations turned up 52,503 coins made up of 67 different types, and they date from between 235 to 305 AD. The Treasure Valuation Committee determined that the whole lot was worth £320,250, which it sold for. Both David and the landowners he found the hoard on split the loot, and everyone lived happily ever after. 4. Panagyurishte treasure. This excellent Thracian treasure, made up of 4 rhytons, fancy cups, 3 oinokoe, wine jugs, a fiali, basically a bowl, and an amphora, more wine storage. The pieces are made out of 24-karat gold and weigh in at 13.58 pounds. The objects were dated, and it turns out they're from around the 4th to 3rd century and were probably a royal ceremonial set for Soothes II, the Thracian king at the time. It's believed that the cups were hidden from the Macedonians and the Celts during the invasions by the groups in the 4th century BC. Mikhail, Petko, and Pavel Dakov, 3 brothers, accidentally discovered the treasure in Panagyurishte, Bulgaria, at a ceramic factory called Marul. The lucky find happened on December 8, 1949, and the brothers at first thought they'd found squirreled away gypsy brass instruments. It's unknown if the brothers ever saw a cut of their find. 3. The mausoleum of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. Alright, finally one that wasn't discovered by metal detectorists. Yang Jifa and his 5 brothers, as well as friend Wang Puji, found Emperor Qin's mausoleum while digging a well in a village called Jiang in March 1974. After they dug about 6.5 feet, they hit some harder dirt. terracotta fragments, terracotta bricks, red earthenware, and bronze arrowheads. They collected the arrowheads to sell off, and when Fang Shumao, a manager at the hydraulic works, saw the pieces, he suggested they sell them to the cultural center. Jifa received just 10 yens for 2 carts full of terracotta fragments that would turn out to be pieces of terracotta warriors. The head of the cultural center, Zhao Kangmin, visited Jiang and bought up everything villagers dug up and purchased the arrowheads previously sold to a commercial agency. Starting in May 1974, excavations began taking place in the area, and within 2 years, 3 pits full of history had been found. By 2008, 600 pits have been found in what's been called a larger necropolis, some reasonably large distances from the mound of Emperor Qin's tomb. There's no word on how much this incredible show of love or fear for an emperor is worth. 2. SS Central America. In September of 1857, a sidewheel steamer known as the SS Central America was taken down by a powerful hurricane, resulting in the loss of the crew, 425 of 578 passengers, and 30,000 pounds of gold. On September 11, 1988, the ship and the gold were found by Tommy Thompson and his crew from the Columbus America Discovery Group of Ohio. They used a remotely operated vehicle, ROV, to retrieve various artifacts and gold worth an estimated $100 to $150 million. In 1996, a court gave the team 92% of the gold, and Thompson was sued numerous times in the ensuing years over not giving crew members and others their share of the loot. The thing is, he sold the gold for $52 million in 2000. Thompson then led authorities on a manhunt after disappearing, and he was found in 2015 without the gold. He is currently sitting in jail and won't give up the location of the missing gold. We've seen some pretty great treasure finds so far, and we still have one more to go. But first, a question. What would you do if you ever stumbled across some buried treasure? Would you report it like David Crisp, dig it up like the Gold Country couple, or take the loot and run like Tommy Thompson? Let us know in the comments below. 1. Cuerdale Hoard. Way back on May 15, 1840, more than 8,600 items were found along the River Ribble on its southern bank in an area known as Cuerdale in England. It was a giant find. In fact, it is one of the biggest Viking silver hoards found as of 2019, behind the Spillings hoard found in Sweden. It was stumbled upon by some guys repairing the river's embankment in a lead box, and the landowners' bailiffs were quick to secure it to ensure it stayed together. The guys who found it, they got to keep 1 coin each. It was then given to Queen Victoria as the Duke of Lancaster, who then got it to the British Museum. Most of the hoard remains at the British Museum, but some pieces are displayed at Oxford's Ashmolean Museum, and others were kept by the Chateau Musée de Boulogne-sur-Mer. The coins are believed to have been buried not long after the Vikings were kicked out of Dublin in 902, sometime between 903 and 910, and the entire hoard is valued at around $3.2 million. If you enjoyed this video, do us a big favor and give it a like. Subscribe to our channel so that you can always keep up with our informative uploads, and be sure to check out this next video we picked out just for you.